Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Face FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. This morning saw the long-awaited inauguration of the $100,000 SARSTOON Joint Forward Operating Base. The modest building sits on the southernmost part of the mainland, facing a military base of Guatemala, which claims half of Belize's territory, including the SARSTOON area, which has witnessed constant encounters between civilians, the BDF, and Guatemalan armed forces. Today's inauguration was celebrated by the top brass of the Ministry of National Security and the heads of the Belize Coast Guard and the BDF, who took the long trip south. They traveled from Punta Gorda in 3 BDF vessels and 2 Boston whalers belonging to the Coast Guard. However, today was once more labeled as yet another flagrant violation of our sovereignty and territorial integrity. That's because on arrival at the mouth of the SARSTOON, just in front of the SARSTOON Island, which we know as Belizean territory, a Guatemalan gunboat sat inside the Belizean territorial waters. As the Belize expedition approached, it gradually navigated into the Guatemalan side, but 3 other Guatemalan naval vessels remained. One of the 2 Colombian-type vessels was clearly in Belizean territorial waters close to Belize's forward operating base. On the civilian side of things, Guatemalan fishermen, perhaps emboldened by the presence of their own authorities in the river, freely fished alongside the Guatemalan military boats. Rear Admiral John Borland, commander of the Coast Guard, noted that once the base becomes operational, they will address all the illegal activity.
You're absolutely right. I saw the same thing and I share your same sentiment. The Coast Guard, one of the Coast Guard responsibility at this location will be to deal with illegal fishing. What we saw here today will be addressed in a very short term span of time, because the Coast Guard is coming out here to do its job, to act responsibly, but to enforce all our maritime laws within our sea spaces.
But the fishermen and the boats aside today, like at the groundbreaking ceremony in December 2015, almost towards the end of the ceremony, a drone came over into Belizean airspace from the Guatemalan side. It hovered over the area until Rear Admiral Borland simulated as if he would shoot it down.
It is a breach of our security, and it's an act of brazenness on whoever sent that drone over here, and it should not be condoned, and it should be addressed. The same thing happened when we were here for the opening, the groundbreaking ceremony, and again it's been repeated. We did address it at that time, that it was not a welcomed gesture for whoever is responsible, and I hope we do so again. It should not be countenanced. It's a breach of our sovereignty, a breach of our airspace, and it really is nothing but outright disrespectful.
Do you feel that Belizean law enforcement personnel would be justified to do whatever it takes to get that drone from out of Belizean territory?
Well, justified in doing whatever it takes has to be broken down. I think the first measures are to address it seriously at levels above me, that it not be, like I said, not be countenanced, not be tolerated, and not be repeated. But I feel completely disrespected today to see it repeated after the first time, and we addressed it, and we thought that act would be discontinued.
How was it addressed?
It was addressed through a diplomatic channel.
Sir, we saw as well, and correct me if I'm wrong, it appeared that you took it upon yourself, not that it was a directive from the minister who stood there and said, it's in our airspace. Did you take it upon yourself to walk out there on the dock and point toward it as if you were going to shoot it down?
Well, I wasn't going to shoot it down. All I was trying to do was send a message that that thing was in our airspace and it should leave.
The Minister of National Security, Honorable John Saldivar, said we cannot even be sure that the drone was for the Guatemalan military.
But I think that you're making an assumption as to the source of the drone. The last time one such event had occurred, we were told that it was the Guatemalan media. But that aside, yes, it's an invasion of our airspace, and I believe you saw that we were about to take appropriate action.
As to why the Guatemalans were in Belizean waters, Borland added that they will first establish with the BDF and their ministry if our neighbors were invited to be so close in their military vessels. Thereafter, they will request follow-up through the diplomatic channels. While the U.S. and British ambassadors were invited, they excused themselves, saying they had to attend an event with the OAS Secretary General. Similarly, the two ambassadors were missing at the SARSTOON FOB groundbreaking ceremony. In attendance were the ambassadors for Panama and Honduras. As for Guatemala's presence inside Belize's territorial waters during the inauguration of the FOWARD operating base, Commandant of the Belize Defense Force, Brigadier General David Jones, described it as alertness on their behalf.
I mean, we can look right out there and you see the GAF, the GAF right out there circling around, clearly within Belizean territory.
Well, it shows that they're alert, and they're going to continuously be alert. And apart from the BDF, the Coast Guard, or security forces or civilians also have to be aware that the Guatemalans are alert. This is an international border. It's shared between us and them. So they are rightfully concerned if anyone comes into the river that they may be going into Guatemalan waters. So I'm not surprised that they're here. I expected them here because that's what they should do. If there was some activity occurring on their side and we would see a lot of vessels coming into the river, we equally will be alert as well to take a look and to be concerned of what's happening in the river.
Sir, but these are not unknown, unmarked civilian vessels circling in the river. These are military vessels, and I am absolutely sure that the Guatemalans knew that there would be the opening of the FOWARD operating base here today.
Yeah, despite that, they should still be alert. And as you know, politically, they claim the entire river. So as far as they're concerned, we don't belong here unless they have approved it. We are of a different view. That's going to be a continuous contention until there is some approval of some protocol in this river, in this area. So there is still room for tension because there isn't a political united front in what's happening in the SARSTOON. It's not like the confidence building measures we have along the western border. There is no such agreement or no such protocol established for the SARSTOON. The proposals that we've drafted and given to them, unfortunately, they have rejected it. So we still have to go back to the drawing board and see how we can operate with them. Because this is an international border, so whatever goes in and out, it's of the interest of both militaries.
General Jones added that he was disappointed that the proposed SARSTOON peace protocol was rejected by Guatemala.
I wouldn't say I was surprised. I would say I was disappointed that it was rejected because I sat down with the general and their ambassador and we sat down at the table. We went through every paragraph of that protocol one by one. There was no major disagreement with any of those protocols. They did not show that there is going to be any rejection of the protocol. But of course, they did indicate to us that they need to go back to their principal to inform them of the protocol, and they will review it. And based on their recommendation, then they will get back to us, hopefully, within a week or just after a week. So when I heard the news actually on the television last night, the night before that it was rejected, I was really disappointed because the Belizean team sat down together. We drafted those protocols. We believe they were designed with mutual respect and for cooperation so that civilians, both Belizeans and Guatemalans, could traverse the SARSTOON area and the river without interruption from the military or any other civilians. So when it was rejected, I was rightfully disappointed, but I am not going to give up. I'm going to continue working with them because we have to work with them. It's an international border, so it's of the interest of both countries to work together here. We believe it was fair. I believe and I know it was fair. Unfortunately, it's up to the politicians in Guatemala to agree to something working in this area. They have absolutely a different view from what we were thinking. We were thinking it was fair. We believe in the spirit of mutual respect that we should cooperate and work closely with each other to reduce tension, because none of us would benefit from any conflict or any tension in the area. We don't want to go to the direction where eventually there is going to be bloodshed, because neither country will benefit from it.
As for the commandant of the Belize Coast Guard, he is hopeful that the diplomats will find a solution to this issue. As it relates to the news of Guatemala's rejection of Belize's proposal for a peace protocol in the SARSTOON, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is yet to comment on this issue. Today, however, the Minister of National Security, Honorable John Saldivar, confirmed the rejection and informed that the matter was discussed in Cabinet yesterday.
We were informed officially in Cabinet of the rejection of the Guatemalans of our proposal. We also saw what their supposed counter proposal was, which we again flatly reject because it says precisely what was asked just now. They want us to ask permission, and we flatly reject that. And so we are going to continue to work the diplomatic channels to try to see some meeting of the minds. But in the meantime, as you have also indicated, militarily, we believe that we have some sort of agreement for there to maintain the peace in the area.
Saldivar also outrightly rejected that there is any existing agreed protocol that requires Belizean vessels to check in at the Guatemalan base to navigate through the SARSTOON.
It is absolutely clear. We have had in our possession yesterday in Cabinet the minutes of a meeting that was held, I believe, in 2005, if not 2007, when a similar situation had occurred. We have minutes of that meeting that took place at the military level, where it is clear to us that Belize never acceded to that point from the Guatemalans.
Up to yesterday, Belize was among the few countries in our region who was free of the Zika virus. But that changed as the Center for Disease Control in the U.S. officially confirmed local mosquito transmission of Zika in Belize. And Belize joined most of our neighboring countries as the CDC issued a travel alert on its website advising visitors to avoid mosquito bites and unprotected sex while in Belize. But while the CDC has confirmed that mosquitoes in the area are infected with the Zika virus and are spreading it to people, the Ministry of Health is not prepared to confirm any local transmission in Belize. Today, when we spoke to Dr. Marvin Manzanero, epidemiologist at the Ministry of Health, he told us that they are still waiting for the test results from CARFA before they confirm there are Zika cases in Belize. Manzanero also confirmed that they remain very alert and have sent 7 more samples to CARFA. Manzanero also reiterated the ministry's position in trying to mitigate the potential impact of Zika in Belize by asking the general public to take precautionary measures to minimize the breeding sites and population of mosquitoes that primarily transmit the disease. And because of Zika's confirmed link to the birth defect microcephaly, pregnant women are especially asked to be watchful and to avoid mosquito bites. Today, the commander of the Belize Defense Force, Brigadier General David Jones, confirmed that the recently acquired Taiwanese helicopters for the force have been assembled. In 1 year's time, when training for the pilots is complete, the helicopters will be put into use along Belize's border. In the south, the government is expected to clear out a landing area for the helicopters.
The helicopters are already assembled. Our pilots have to be fully trained before they are personally operating them. So despite the fact that they've been assembled, they're flying, we will only have them during training flying around these areas. But the future is for this facility to also be serviced by those helicopters. The area just over to my left is a clearing that is expected to be developed into a helicopter landing site. So that will be an area where the helicopter will be able to land if there is need for immediate evacuation in this area. And it's going to be the same with the rest of the observation posts along the western border. All the helicopter landing sites are going to be cleared so that we can have casualty evacuation or insertion or extraction for operations along the border. In particular, along the western border, they're more fuel consumptive in that we'd have to strategically place fuel in different districts so that when they leave Price Barracks, they can go and return without any difficulty. All that has been factored in. So the 2 places that we may need to have refuel station will be here in Punta Gorda and also at Camp Belisario in Cayo. So when they launch operation from the battalion that is in Cayo, we have a station at the base in Cayo, and operations here in the south, we have refuel stations here at Fairweather Camp as well. But all that is being planned. We're hoping that training starts either next week or within 2 weeks or so.
Basic training for the pilots as well as for the mechanics and crew started 2 weeks ago. The technical expertise is also courtesy of the Taiwanese. We will have more on today's inauguration of the FOWARD operating base in tomorrow's newscast. Coming up next, Orange Wakeño sentenced to 2 years in prison for robbing a Chinese store. And the Belize Progressive Party and the vision inspired by the people say Guatemala's rejection of 11 proposals is a slap in the face for GOB. Stay tuned.
Vibes Alive International, in collaboration with Divas Under Construction, presents Zumba Invasion 2016. Get ready for a 4-hour dance-a-thon featuring world-class professional Zumba instructors such as Noemi Parra from Dallas, Texas, Aaron Diaz from Chetumal, Mexico, and Emmanuel Robinson from Belize City, Belize. Special stage performance by Filipino the Dancer, renowned professional Jamaican dancer and choreographer. It's all going down Friday, May 6, 2016 at the Crystal Palace Auditorium in Orange Walk Town, Belize. Doors open at 5 p.m. for registration. First session kicks off at 6 p.m. T-shirts and souvenirs, door prizes and giveaways galore. Music and entertainment by Vibes Alive International, featuring DJ Big Boy and DJ Mix, with special guest DJ, DJ Che. All dance groups and the general public is invited. Proceeds go to the Orange Walk Concert Group. This event is sponsored by Courts, Caribbean Rums, Fiesta FM, Nahil Mayab, Progress Street Glass Shop, Casino Sabor, De La Fuente Hotel, American Fashion, JB & Sons, Perstitution Studios, Sarah Cabañas, Blanca Rivas, Roger Martinez, Raul Celis, and Miss Meredith Castro.
Want to promote your business and increase your revenues? Advertise with Centaur on any of our 4 outlets. Ctv3 News, Despierta Belize, Fiesta FM Radio, and the Information Channel. Our rates are unbeatable. For more information, contact our sales representatives at 670-9177, 664-9438, 663-5585, 670-1275, or contact our office at 302-2216.
Having a congestion problem? Not with Smart's 4G LTE. Experience the free flow of data with Smart. You will always have the speeds you need and more. So don't be fooled by the fake, barely there 4G. Experience the power of Smart's 4G LTE right now.
Now open Mirka's Elegant Furniture and Appliances, where you can shop for that beautiful piece of furniture or decor you have been dreaming of, such as bedroom sets, dining sets, TV stands, sofa sets, sofa beds, entertainment units, china closets, wardrobes, bureaus, desks, rugs, mattresses, mirrors, wall art, and much, much more. Take advantage of our payment terms with very, very low service charges. Come see yourself at number 6 Westby Street, Orange Walk Town, near the New River Enterprises Limited Complex, Sawmill. Or call us at 322-2225 or 322-3373. Opening hours are from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mirka's Elegant Furniture and Appliances, making your household dreams affordable.
Two Orange Rock men were today sentenced to serve 2 years imprisonment after they were found guilty of the charge of robbery. The two individuals, namely Gustavo Hernandez and Christian Sutherland, were arrested and charged back in May 11, 2015 for the broad daylight armed robbery at LUDA'S fast food at the corner of Guadalupe Street and Belize COROZAL Road in Orange Walk Town. At the time of the incident, 41-year-old Chinese businesswoman Ling Yu Huang reported to police that sometime around 2:45 p.m. on that day, while at her business place attending to a customer, two male persons with their faces covered and wearing camouflage hats entered the establishment and robbed them at gunpoint. Sutherland and Hernandez, who were both out on bail, were taken to the Orange Walk Magistrates Court this morning for their hearing, where Magistrate Marlene Moody found them guilty of robbery and handed down a sentence of 2 years imprisonment to both. Increased tensions between Belize and Guatemala over the SARSTOON area has been major concern for some time for many Belizeans. In an attempt to alleviate the tension between both countries, a bilateral meeting was held at the OAS office at the adjacency zone last week Friday between Belize and a delegation from Guatemala. At this meeting, Belize presented an 11-point draft proposal for peace at the SARSTOON. And as we mentioned yesterday, information is that Guatemala has rejected the 11-point proposal without offering an alternative for peace at the SARSTOON. Following the blatant disregard of a bipartisan solution by Guatemala, several organizations have spoken out on the issue, including the Belize Progressive Party. Today, the BPP, via a press release, spoke out about Guatemala's rejection of GOB's 11-point proposal, calling it a slap to the face. In the release, BPP also calls out our Belizean government, saying, quote, GOB, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, committed a grave miscalculation, for in so doing, it not only set the stage for Guatemala to provide what amounts to a slap in the face, but even more egregious is that it also provided the Guatemalans with the proverbial paper trail that, heaven forbid, if the matter is taken to the ICJ, can serve as an example of the effective administration of the SARSTOON River, end quote. In ending their release, the BPP expressed their utter disapproval of the Guatemalan government for its insistent obstinacy, but they also expressed their disapproval towards GOB for persisting with what they call misguided, ill-conceived, and novice handling of this extremely important matter of national security. And sticking to the subject of the SARSTOON, Vision Inspired by the People VIP has written a letter to government providing an alternative solution to the Belize-Guatemala territorial dispute, since according to them, even with increased tensions from Guatemala, GOB has chosen not to start diplomatic efforts on this regard. The letter addressed to Prime Minister Dean Barrow was dated April 18th and requests GOB to discontinue the special agreement leading to the referendum on the International Court of Justice, and to instead request the United Nations Security Council to comply with its obligation of ensuring the security and territorial sovereignty of our country. As they had indicated before, VIP maintains that the United Nations Security Council is the best choice for Belize as it relates to this matter. The party bases its argument on a resolution that was passed by the Council that was unanimously passed at the 57th meeting held on 11th of November 1980, which states, quote, "The inalienable right of the people of Belize to self-determination, independence, and territorial integrity, and requests the relevant organs of the United Nations to take such actions as may be appropriate in order to facilitate the attainment of independence by Belize and to guarantee its security and territorial integrity thereafter," end quote. Due to the provision of this resolution, VIP believes that the United Nations Security Council, as the peacekeeping organ of the United Nations, is mandated to intercede on Belize's behalf when requested to ensure our security and territorial inviolability. The Belize Territorial Volunteers is scheduled to visit the SARSTOON on the 30th of April in commemoration of the 157th anniversary of the 1859 treaty between the governments of the UK and the Republic of Guatemala, which recognized the border between Belize and Guatemala. But with Guatemala refusing the 11 proposals presented by Belize to maintain the peace in the SARSTOON and insisting that civilians or the BDF need to seek permission from the Guatemalan military before entering the SARSTOON, well, the BTV, who has been confronted by the Guatemalan military, still carry out their trip. According to President of the BTV, Will Mejia, there is nothing that can stop them from proceeding with the trip to the SARSTOON.
The SARSTOON Island belongs to us, and our borderline is in the mid-channel, in the deepest part of the river. We at BTV, we know exactly where that is, and we will be on the Belizean side. So I appeal to Belizeans, don't be scared by that. It just shows that that Guatemala continues to bully Belize, but we as Belizeans, we need to stand firm. We need to stand up for our country before we lose it and before the bullies take it over. So our trip will stand as is. We will make the 157th anniversary trip to the SARSTOON River on April 30th. So I just want to assure Belizeans that we have done many expeditions. The government itself have tried to scare Belizeans from going, but we have never had an incident, and we don't expect to have one now.
Mejia also gave us his input on Guatemala's refusal to the proposals and indicated that he is not the least shocked about the outcome, as he believes that the government has been demonstrating signs of weakness for quite some time now, therefore allowing Guatemala to behave in this manner.
I'm not surprised that Guatemala behaved like that and rejected it outright, because we continue, the government of Belize continues to show signs of weakness. And until we put feet down and stand strong, Guatemala will continue to behave like that. But, you know, I mean, like in Creole, they are just saying, how nowhere we can play. And I think this is exactly what's happening. We have to show Guatemala that we are serious about this country. The government of Belize, I'm calling on the government of Belize to either resign if they cannot handle the Guatemalans, but at the end of the country, this is our country.
The general public is reminded that the trip will be taking place on Saturday, April the 30th. Our Lady of Guadalupe RC School is located in the COROZAL district. It has a staff of 8 teachers and 1 principal, and it is occupied by 268 students on average school days. Today we can tell you though that that number will increase as the Social Investment Fund, in collaboration with the Education Department, carried out a groundbreaking ceremony for the new preschool which is about to be constructed. The construction of the preschool is to be funded under the Caribbean Development Bank, Basic Needs Trust Fund, Sevens Education, and Human Resource Development sector through a grant with counterpart funding by the government of Belize. The project is aimed to increase access and enhance quality, inclusive early childhood development and primary education services. In the process, the project is also designed to construct additional classrooms along with human resource development training for teachers. According to Principal of Our Lady of Guadalupe RC, Ayuni Briceño, this project is a dream come true and parents are already enrolling their children for the next school year.
For some time now, our parents have been clamoring for a preschool in the area. We have been struggling, finding fundings, but thank God our prayers were answered. So it's a dream come true. SIF has allocated 4 months for this project to be finished, but the contractor has pledged that he can deliver the keys to us in 3 months' time. We have a list already of parents that have brought in their children's names so that they can have a space.
Briceño says the construction of the preschool will not only benefit Altamira, but the COROZAL district on a whole.
If we have a dream, don't give up on the dream. Follow your dream and work on it, because I know that dreams come true. I think all the staff members, the children, parents, and community at large are all grateful that this has come true. It will be a benefit not only to Altamira, but to La Vista. And we have children that come to our school as far off as Paraíso, San Andres. We have a child from Pachacan. We have children from Ranchito. So it will be a total effect on the COROZAL district.
Further into the newscast, we will tell you about the groundbreaking that took place here in Orange Walk. When we come back, Hands and Hearts Medical Mission leaves their mark in Belize, and more classrooms will be built in Orange Walk. Stay tuned.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain, I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song, take back my life song, prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on, starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song, and I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. Losing friends and I'm chasing sleep.
Exhausted, come and go classy. Me and my friend them chilling, we grilling, we drinking. Whole master over everything. Pop that, pop that, pop that. Chug that, chug that, chug that. Pop that, pop that, pop that. Chug that, chug that, chug that. Ask me what we drinking. Whole master, what you thinking? Pour some, season the chicken. The vodka, the gold, or the extra mature. Relax me, yes, we drink and live. Me I tell you straight, we don't drink and drive. No, drinking responsibly. Whole master, you want for me. So what? Pop that, pop that, pop that. Chug that, chug that, chug that. Pop that, pop that, pop that. Chug that, chug that, chug that.
We rely so much on the internet. Shouldn't it be effortless? With Smart 4G LTE, experience an uncomplicated, smooth, accessible network of speed and reliability. Changing the face of mobile internet in Belize. Smart's 4G LTE has low-cost packages to suit your personalized internet needs, starting at only $35. And also offers specialized social media packages for as little as $15 for an entire gig. Dial Star Data to purchase a package. Visit your nearest Smart showroom or visit us online for more information.
Minister Right Honorable Dean Barrow left the country today to attend the signing of the Paris Agreement at the United Nations headquarters in New York City, scheduled for the 22nd of April. The Paris Agreement was brought together back in December of last year after 195 countries came together and adopted a new international agreement to address climate change. This agreement is seen as historic in the fight against climate change as it sets the basis for common action against climate change by countries all over the world. It also marked a breakthrough in global cooperation to address climate change. During PM's absence, Deputy Prime Minister Honorable Gaspar Vega will act as Prime Minister until Prime Minister Barrow returns to Belize on the 24th of April. The Social Investment Fund, in partnership with the government of Belize, broke ground earlier today for the construction of 2 new preschool buildings in the northern part of the country. Here in Orange Walk, the ceremony was held at the Carmelita Government School, where the official construction of the building commenced. The Minister of State Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, Honorable Elodio Aragon Jr., was present at the service and emphasized that it is very essential for the ministry to place importance in early childhood education as it creates a foundation for young students to enhance their level of education.
Our community here in Carmelita is growing and we have young kids, and having a preschool will facilitate them to begin to get that foundation in terms of education that is so needed. The community of Carmelita will have a preschool where they could send their kids to start early childhood education, and that is important. If we could get and get the foundation in terms of education for our youngest of our communities, I mean, that is a great start for them when they go into primary school, etc. So we believe that the government believes that it is important for us to do early childhood education. And I think government is investing in this year alone. I think about 22 preschools will be built across this country. And of course, we are looking at a new high school in Carmelita soon to come. So there's great things happening in education, and I do think that today being out here for 2 schools today, one in COROZAL and one in Orange Walk, speaks well of what we are trying to do to achieve early childhood education for our community's children. And I think we always say the young people are our future. They're also the here and now. And it makes me proud to know that we are setting the right foundation in terms of building preschools that will begin to take in these young students and setting the foundation for them to move forward in their lives.
And while the government has constantly been pushing the agenda of early childhood education, the Minister of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, Honorable Patrick Faber, stated that their main focus is to ensure that a number of opportunities are created for students at the lower levels.
We were pleased that the Social Investment Fund and in fact other partners have agreed to help us in order to roll infrastructure out for early childhood education. You'll remember that in fact as a part of the 35 new schools that we have, 22 of those schools being preschools. And that is not really what is happening here. This is the Social Investment Fund assisting us in addition. So it is really an exciting time for early childhood education. And we are putting in all of this infrastructure with the hope that people in general who have children at this age will send their children. But we have seen that need balloon and grow. And so we're doing our part as the ministry and our partners to try to make sure that the opportunities exist. So for me, it's a very, very exciting time. As long as my schedule permits, I make it my business to be wherever in the country because it is for us a top priority that our children get that strong start.
As mentioned earlier by Minister Aragon, the government is also planning to construct a high school within the village of Carmelita. On Sunday, April 17th, a team of 35 general surgeons known as Hands and Hearts Medical Mission arrived in Belize. Immediately after their arrival, they started screening and prepping patients of COROZAL on Orange Walk for surgeries to be performed from the 18th to the 22nd of April. Yesterday, just after 7 p.m., Ctv3 caught up with team leader and experienced veteran Dr. Su Long, who said that a total of 46 patients have been treated, and the most common surgeries so far are for gallstone and hernia.
We screened approximately 200 people on Sunday to make out the schedule for the week for surgery, And today, I believe we did 24 surgeries, and yesterday 22. So we've done a total of 46 operations so far. Mostly we're doing laparoscopic gallbladder surgery, that's with the small incisions, and then we're doing a variety of different types of hernias. About half the patients that we've done have had gallstones, and the other half have been hernias.
The turnout over the past 2 days has been more than expected, and by Friday, a total of 100 patients would have undergone surgery, says Chief of Staff for the COROZAL Community Hospital, Dr. Jorge Sahia.
It's been a very, very good turnout. We got over 200 patients coming in asking for information for the services for the gallbladder and for the hernia. A total of 98 patients were programmed. During the surgeries yesterday and today, we got a couple patients from Regional Hospital coming in here, transiting in for the surgeries here. So on average, we're doing 20 to 24 surgeries per day, expecting by Friday to have a total average of about 100 patients.
Sahia is asking all those patients that are scheduled for surgery to bring along their relevant medical history.
Any paper that was not brought in, if they could please bring it in so the doctors can see it. This is just for precaution-wise. They were given indications on fasting, most of them. We asked them to be patient still. It's a long process, but at the end of the day, most or all will be attended and have their surgery on the date they were programmed.
The surgeries are scheduled to continue for the remainder of the week, and Sahia wishes to remind the general public that those persons who did not make it on the list this time around will be included in the list for the upcoming medical mission. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, April 21st, here on Ctv3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3believenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3believenews. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.